Able to hear me now? Spiritual path is referred as the path of rehabilitation. Put an effort to rehabilitate your inner personality. You work with reference to your mind and intellect. That is the spiritual path. And this effort needs to be done on a consistent basis. We cannot do it as a part-time, pastime work. It has to be done on a daily basis. Like, here's a beautiful example. Like a ship which goes into the sea needs to be dry docked. You have to bring it back and clean it. Only then it is ready to take the next voyage. If it is not doing that, then the ship's life comes down drastically. Same way, your personality, which is constantly in touch with the world, you got to withdraw from that and put in that effort. That effort he is classifying into two categories. Number one is the study and reflection on the scriptures. The second one he gives is the introspection that you do. The study and reflection you do first thing in the morning. Introspection you do the last thing in the night. What is the role of study and reflection? The study and reflection gives your intellect a higher understanding of life, gets grounding on the higher values of life. And the exercise of introspection builds your awareness. That awareness gives you peaceful life. Now, you cannot say that since I want only peace in life, I will do only introspection. It will not work. Because I am so interested to know Vedanta, I am so interested in philosophy. So every day I'm going to be studying. Introspection and all those things I'm not interested in. Then also it will not work. These two things has to be done together. Study and introspection. The study you do in the morning, introspection you do in the night. And what is introspection? Introspection is a conscious effort that you put in to stand apart and observe your experiences of the day. You stand apart and watch the day's experiences of yours. That effort is known as introspection. In introspection, you don't do any analysis. You are only supposed to be observing it. The power is in that observation, in that awareness. The moment you become aware, the problem we face is your ego takes over. What is the meaning of ego taking over? Ego taking over means you start getting into this analysis, judgments. Either you criticize or you self-appreciation. Yes, you can't avoid that in the very first day. Remember this. You cannot say that, if I sit for introspection today, will I be able to just observe and not slip into this judgmental? That is not possible. You will slip into it once in a while. Don't expect. That is why he gives very particular. He says Do that introspection only for 5 minutes. Don't do more than that. So when you fix the time, at least the time will make you conscious. Correct? I'm exceeding the time. That awareness you get. The exercise of introspection is only to become conscious. That's about it. Nothing else. So once you become conscious, what happens? Alertness comes into picture, that awareness comes into picture, and then you can use all Vedantic, high patentic words you can use. You become objective, you become, witnessing, you become a sakshi, all sorts of things you can use. But essentially, what it is doing is, once you become conscious, it gives you a glimpse of a life of the disappearance of agitations. The disturbances that you experience disappear. When the disturbances disappear, invariably we will find ourselves slipping into sleep. You just slide into sleep. That's why a lot of practitioners of introspection, they say, sir, we start introspection, we don't complete. Halfway through, we are disturbances started for others, not for us. Snoring started, we say. When you are awake also, you are a disturbing person. When you sleep also, you disturb people now. That is old age. You grow old, that's what happens. When you are awake, you are a disturbance. At least when you sleep, will you be quiet? No. Even then, you are a disturbance only. This. You slip in. Why? Because we have never experienced in our life awareness culminating in peace and retaining that alert state of action. You see, no fault. Don't try to be awake and all that, please. That's not what I'm recommending here. That's not the recommendation. The moment you relax, you slip into sleep. That's all I'm saying. You will experience that. If you experience such a thing, don't get somehow stay awake and complete that introspection. It's not like, nobody is going to be keeping a gun at you and say, if you don't complete introspection within 5 minutes, I will shoot you. All that. Nothing is going to happen like that. So if you slip in, forget it. But don't exceed beyond 5 minutes. If you are exceeding more than 5 minutes, there is a very good chance that your ego has taken over. Meaning you have started analyzing. Of course, there is an advantage. There is a subtle advantage is there. You see, that introspection, even though it's not meant for that, but it has an advantage. What is the advantage of that, sir? Psychologically, when you do this, constantly, there's an advantage. What is the advantage? Even if you recognize a mistake that you are committing repeatedly, repeated mistake when you are committing, you in introspection, you will register that. That registration happens. I went, I got angry. I went out, got angry. This happened, I got angry. That happened, I got angry. This happened, I got angry. So, over a period of time, you register. When you register that, your ego, which cannot accept it, when you register your mistakes repeatedly being done again and again and again, that alertness will not allow that to exist. Therefore, what you will do, to put it in a positive sense, you will somehow become answerable to yourself. Introspection makes you accountable to yourself. You have to give account of your life to yourself, your experiences to yourself. Your actions becomes accountable to whom, sir? To yourself. When I'm introspecting, again what will happen? This will prick. That registration of that pricking, you see, will not be acknowledged, will not be able to take it. Therefore, what will happen? You will start living your life in a responsible manner over a period of time. Now, imagine that you are doing something good. You are appreciating something. This is when you criticize something. Suppose, what about those things which I do good? Invariably, those who do good things always carry one weakness along with that. One of the weaknesses, there are many weaknesses. One of the weakness that comes along with doing some right actions, doing some good action, is wanting appreciation from others. You see, the demand from the world to appreciate me. After the class, all of you have to appreciate. There has to be a standing ovation. Don't do all that, huh? Okay. Then what is it? Appreciate it. Then I feel that talk is good. So I delivered a good lecture. Today's class was good. What is it, sir? Appreciation. The moment I do any action, some quality action I perform, immediately I start expecting the world around me to recognize that and appreciate me for that. Now, in introspection, when you do this registration constantly, that craving comes down a lot. That craving for that demanding appreciation, expecting appreciation from the world comes down. Very interesting. If you are making a mistake, there what happens, sir? You become accountable, you become answerable to yourself. Thereby, you start living a responsible life. When you are appreciating, then the demand for appreciation from the world is considerably comes down. As a result, you are relaxed. As a result, you don't have this craving. And another thing you will see people doing introspection is, as I mentioned in the last class, you will start from the morning. You will just go through the day's experiences, what all happened, what all you did, what all happened, all that you go through. Suddenly, from 9 o'clock, you jump to 11 o'clock. You have to strain yourself to recollect what happened between 9 and 11, 2 hours. So many things you would have done, you see. The 2 hours is just gone off like that. Not sleeping, waking hours. The waking 2 hours just disappeared from your mind. That means what? That means you create such pockets in your day's experiences, in your life, in your waking life, is the pockets of blackout. You simply go blank. What happened? We wonder, what was it? What did happen? And you have to strain yourself and see one or two things will come, and then it goes black again. Again from 12:30 to 4 o'clock, what happens, sir? Black again. So much of blackouts. More such pockets of blackout means you are not living that experience consciously. You are not conscious of what's happening around you. You are just going through. That's about it. You are not conscious at all. That's what we used to play. You go for a movie, you have to come back and narrate that movie scene by scene. It's a very interesting experience to analyze, to state that movie scene by scene. Those who have not, watched this match to today, I don't know how many of you had the luxury of time, first of all. And you must have that inclination. Even if you have time, you should have had that inclination to watch. A historic victory. Ball by ball, can you? Okay, session by session. Yeah, that is possible, sir. Over by over, difficult. More difficult, that is. Hour by hour is more difficult. But session by session, what is it? First session, second session, third session. There we can see. But the whole thing you're watching, you watched ball by ball, you watched. But what happens over a period of time is this blackouts, that pockets of blackout experiences, a chunk will start drastically coming down. That means you are going through the day's experience conscious. You are conscious of what is happening around you, what action you are doing. You register that because you are accountable in the night. When you go back in the night, every day you can't be going through this pockets of blackout. You can't take it. That is not possible. As a result of which, what will happen? Automatically, you will start living your day alert, conscious. When you are alert and conscious, lot of regretful actions which you have been performing, which you have been doing earlier, will come down. You would not be regretting life or doing something. Otherwise, we all experience that. Everyone experiences. You do something, later on, you yourself regret. It is not that someone else comes and tells you and then you realize, oh my God, I made a mistake. It's not that. You yourself wake up and say, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have said this in this way. I shouldn't have said this at this time. All, this is what regret is. Now, which is really agitating. Now, why do you have to live a life of regretfulness when you have the capability to recognize the mistake? There are mistakes which you are not capable of recognizing. That is okay. That we need not worry about. At least that which you can recognize, you're capable of understanding that it is wrong. Then what made you to do that is because your intellect is not available. What we mean by intellect here is that alertness, what I was referring to earlier, that awareness. You're not conscious. You're not aware. That's called intellect. Your own intellect is not available to you at that point of time. How do you bring that intellect available to you at that point of time? So that you don't repeat that same mistake. Again, that is where this simple exercise of introspection works wonders. It's a fascinating, exercise. Innocuous exercise. That's why most people don't do it. Because it is such a simple exercise. You think, what is this? The simple things are you are telling us. If I say difficult thing, you will say, no, it is too difficult. If I say simple things, you say it is too simple. I don't know what to say then. They say, all these things we know already. You are only repeating what I know already, the fellow says. Suppose if I start talking things which are, Then they say, hey, these lectures are too high for us. We can't follow. It is too heavy for me to digest. Yes. All this is what? Somehow you don't want to do it. You don't want to rehabilitate yourself. You don't want to enroll into the rehabilitation center. You know, I prefer that word, rehabilitation. Transformative. Allah is all, making it, something as though you're doing something good. You're not doing anything good. You have to rehabilitate yourself. Why? You are an addict now. You got addicted to the world. You got to be put into that rigorous de-addiction camp. You have to enroll yourself in that rehabilitation center. Then your ego can't take it. Therefore, what we have started doing now, we have started using good words, such as transformation tool. He's going to say the same introspection only. He's not going to say anything else. He says the same exercise only. Wherever you go, you will not see anything more than this exercise. The whole world is believing in this exercise of introspection. Only thing is they use different words. That's about it. They use a word. Better words are used. But I like this word, rehabilitation, because that shows that there is some sickness we have. Transformation and all, when you use, you think as though you are very good as of now. You have to go beyond this now. That's what Ramtita says. Look at yourself in the mirror, he says. Ramtita. You want to know about yourself? Go and stand in front of the mirror and look. You will know your condition. You don't need anything else, he says. That is introspection. It makes you so conscious, so alert. And the beauty of this alertness is, since this alertness is devoid of judgmentalism, relaxes you. Alertness coupled with analysis, judgment, ego, will agitate you. That's what the problem for us is. See, how we go through is, if you get alert, you get agitated. That's why a lot of people today, they say, don't even think of perfection. You started promoting. There is no such thing called perfection in the world. Don't ever strive to be a perfect individual. I say, why not? What is the problem? The moment you keep that idea of perfection, immediately your ego takes over and says what? Not only I want to be perfect, I want everyone around to be perfect. And a perfect wanting person, how can he make such mistakes? When I recognize my mistakes, I flare up. When I recognize others' mistake, I pounce on them. See, the problem is not in the goal of perfection, please. The problem is you become conscious and your ego taking over. We have never experienced in our life become conscious without your ego taking over. All that he says is, try that for 5 minutes. That's enough. Don't do it more than that. That 5 minutes itself will be too much. The 5 minutes is not easy to go through, he says. That's why, he's very particular. He says, don't do more than that. Do it for 5 minutes. Because the ego will take over. The study, the second one he gives is the study. The other one. This is the study. Now, the study gives study and reflection, understood. Okay. So whenever we say study, we're not talking about just reading a book. Okay. You read, you reflect. Now, regarding reflection, I have already spoken, so I'm not dealing with it again and again. Right? Reflection is your ability to question what you read, your ability to question again and again what you have understood. We question only when we don't understand. That is not what it is. Questioning should happen post understanding. That is called reflection. To pre understanding, you question is called shravana, listening, reading. By reading, while reading, you get some doubts. All your questions will be what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of that? I don't understand this, I don't understand that. Because I use some words. Say, for example, a first time a person who hears introspection. Ishwaran, so far in this class, you never explained what is introspection. So, can you just tell us what is introspection? I don't know what is introspection. How to do introspection? This is not reflection. This is collecting information. How do you do introspection? Is it what you do, sir? Sit. Switch off the lights. Preferably close your eyes. Don't lie down. Because you lie down means most conducive to slip into sleep in the first minute itself. So, ideally, sit and try to mentally go through day experiences from morning till now in one direction. During which time, don't get into any analysis. This is called reflection. Sorry, this is called introspection. Now that you have got the idea of introspection, some understanding you have about introspection. Beyond that, you have to, after you have understood introspection, to question your understanding of introspection and probe further. That is called reflection. So, questioning can be done in two ways. Two types of questions are there. One, to collect information. Another one, to ground yourself, to deepen your understanding. When you question the scriptural studies, whatever you have studied, whatever you have heard, there what happens is you get more deeper understanding of life, a better understanding of life you get. There what happens, you start building your intellectual stamina. That intellectual stamina, the heightened intellectual stamina you apply during introspection. So introspection is to bring, to use, to apply the existing intellectual strength that I have. Using my existing intellectual strength is called introspection. Exercising that to build further is called reflection. Walking, all of us do. But when the doctor says you have to go for a walk, that walking is different walking, isn't it? Now you can't say inside the house I'm walking the whole day. That's not accounted as walking. You say what? In 45 minutes, you have to cover 5 kilometers. You cover 5 kilometers in 45 minutes. If you walk in that speed, that is exercising. That is where you build your strength. Your system gets stronger because of it. Exercising is different. Using those muscles to do your day's activities are different. They are two different things. So introspection will not build your intellectual stamina. You study and reflect. How do you know your intellect had got stronger? You will know that when you introspect. That is why these two exercises are to be done together. Simultaneously, they have to do. Simultaneous in the sense, same day, one in the morning, one in the night. And when you start doing introspection, invariably you'll go to sleep. You don't worry about that initially. Okay. And introspection, we say how you should do, when you should do introspection. You do introspection in the night. Don't try to do introspection in the morning. Right. Morning, what are you supposed to do, sir? Morning, you are supposed to do study and reflect. The scriptural study, spiritual effort has to be put in early hours of the morning. You see. Now we ask the question, sir, why is it that early hours of the morning most conducive, 4 to 6, most conducive period for this? Now, what is so great about that Brahma Muhurta, this, that, and all? See, when you go to sleep, why we have a thing called a sleep? Remember, nature has given, the providence has given sleep to us as a gift. Why sleep? When you sleep is a time where your body repairs itself. You all know that. When you sleep, your body repairs itself. And nature, the body gets repaired in the sense, not only the gross body, even the subtle body gets repaired. Now, when you observe carefully, when you sleep, you go to sleep at 10 o'clock. In between 1 o'clock, you wake up. 1:30, you wake up. Right? For chuchu, you wake up. Go. Right? And you come back and you see it is 1:30. 1:32, something like that it is. Now you look at that and say, my God, 2 o'clock, Tana. It's only 2, is it? I thought I've been sleeping. Oh, my God, I thought it is already 5:30. But only 2 o'clock, I said. You go to sleep. Right? You go to bed and you fall off to sleep. In another minute or two, you fall off to sleep. And then you wake up, it is 7:30. Right? From 2 o'clock to 7:30 will appear to you as past like that. Whereas from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock will appear as though you slept for a long period. Right? These are all, now what we are doing today is a very preliminary analysis of sleep and all that. Now deeper analysis coming in the next chapter. That is true philosophy. This is not philosophy. This is all, simple observations of life. If you observe, you will get it. Everyone would have experienced it. You go to sleep, you wake up at 2, you feel, and for 2 minutes, you feel really fresh. Isn't it? The first 2-3 minutes, you look very fresh, as though you are ready to start your activities. What was happening is, during this period, the first phase of sleep is where nature repairs the body, the gross body. Physical body repair is over. Then there is a cutoff point. You wake up, and then you go back to sleep again. That is the period where your subtle body repair starts happening, meaning your psychological repair. Psychological repair means what? All the agitations of the mind gets settled, gets repaired. That is why it is so difficult for most of us to wake up early in the morning. Why so difficult to wake up early in the morning? Hmm? So much of agitation. And you ask all this, doctors, medical world will, the medical fraternity will say every human being needs 8 hours of sleep, average. What is it, 8 hours of sleep, sir? 5 hours to repair the gross body, 3 hours to repair the subtle body. You need that much time for the body to be repaired. And nature gives that as a gift. Now, if you were to be living your life in a perfect manner, if you were to live your day with alertness and awareness, your actions becomes effortless. Your actions will not be desirable. Your actions will not accumulate more and more of unfulfilled desires. The presence of more unfulfilled desires is what is causing agitation, disturbance. That needs to be repaired. That is the second phase. The first phase, gross body taken care. Now the second phase is the subtle body should be taken care. That's why you see the child, newborn baby, you see, it will be sleeping in a day. It will be sleeping for 22 hours. The 2 hours of waking period will be just little. For about 6 months, 8 months, 1.5 years, 2 years, if you see, that time period for the child to be sleeping is more and more. Why we give more time for that to be sleeping? That is the time the body is growing, physical body. It grows at that time. Therefore, it has to be allowed. That's why we create conducive things. We keep the room dark. We keep the cozy, environment we create for the child to sleep. We don't make any noise in the house. We don't cook things which are, so strong, order, all those things, because it can disturb the sleep of the child. Why? As a result of which the physical growth of the child gets impaired. So what we do at home, we create all that best of things. That's why they give even the mother's sari, because the child has that same smell. So the child feels so comfortable with that, with this, all that, etc., etc. As the man gets older and older and older and older, old age, what happens, sir? Again, same thing happens. Old age also, they'll be sleeping more and more. Why? Repair. For growth, you need sleep. For repair, you need sleep. Physical body needs it. We can't do anything about it. Whereas the psychological repair, we have to reduce. The human perfection A rehabilitated life of a human is one who doesn't require too much of time to repair the subtle body. Therefore, what happens in him? That is why an evolved individual naturally wakes up. We say, now don't take it, again we make a mistake. So therefore, all those people who wake up at 4 o'clock don't become evolved, spiritual. Okay. We used to come from Chennai, the train, the first train will come and reach, city station. We get on from city station and come towards, city market. And we are coming, there will be, traffic jam. So what I do is I take the second train. I don't take the first train, which comes to, enters by Bangalore city. I'll take the second train, which goes up to my Mysore. I prefer that. Why? Because by then, this morning, 4 o'clock, 4:30, there is a traffic jam there. So much of trucks coming, so much of these fellows coming, this, that. So much of activities around that area. All those guys are woken up. What time they wake up, sir? They say 3:30 we have to wake up. The milkwala who comes and delivers milk to you, he wakes up. 3:30 he wakes up. Does it mean he is a very sattvic fellow? Buffalo milk he is bringing. You say sattvic fellow he is. Waking up per se doesn't make it sattvic, please remember. But it is true. What that converse is not true. Remember, in life, this is true. What is truth? If you are evolved, meaning, what is a mark of evolution? Mark of evolution is to perform actions with alertness. Therefore, the actions were performed effortless. Therefore, there is no unfulfilled desires. Since there is no unfulfilled desires, since those actions are effortless, there is no psychological backlog of mental disturbances. Therefore, nature says there is no necessity for me to do much of repair now. Therefore, what? Wake up. Once that body repair is done, you are alert and awake. Automatic, that is. But don't go reverse. That's what the problem is. The moment we say this, immediately people will start going backwards. And say, yeah, everybody waking up is all. That's not necessary, please. So remember, when you are sleeping, sleep is a gift of nature. For what that is given to us, that is given to us to rest, grow, and repair. That is the time where the repair actually happens. Now, what is interesting is, when you wake up with that bodily repair being done, not much of mental repair needed, as a result of which when you wake up, you are relatively calm. That relative calmness is conducive, or rather I would say is necessity for the intellect to apply itself for growth, to strengthen. If you wake up tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock, by 4 or 5 you will go off to sleep. That too, you study Vedanta. You wake up in the morning and study Vedanta. Allah. To get up and do some activities is easier. Remember, you get up in the morning and do things. That's why in the academy, always says, no need to do even bathing, this, that, nothing. We just go brush our teeth, do prayer, sit and study. That's all. No cleaning the room, bathing, this, nothing of those things. All that he says, forget about. Study. Why? Because to get into activities is easier. Wake up in the morning and go for jogging. That is possible. A lot of people do it. Particularly in Chennai, they go to the beach. It is so refreshing in the morning, so quiet. This, now you understand so many things out of it. This is the principle. From here we extract so many points. What is your state today? Your state is you sleep for 8 hours, you wake up, are you fresh? 8 hours of sleep you have had. According to the principle, you should be fresh now because you have rested enough and the repairs are all done. It's exactly like you taking the vehicle back after servicing. You have given your car for servicing, you are taking for delivery. When you are driving the car back home after service, you will experience it is so fresh, isn't it? Do you feel like that in the morning? We don't feel like that. Why? The nature has that capability to repair X amount of agitation. Now we are having X plus 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 plus. So what happens? Nature gives up, says, hey, how much repair I can do? Any repair that I do is not enough. Therefore, when you wake up tired and you think it is lack of sleep. Therefore, what people believe? They think I should sleep more. Therefore, I sleep more. So, you sleep more you feel tired. And then it's like a cycle. You are in the vicious cycle now. It's got nothing to do with all that, please. Bodily repairs taken care of. But the problem is the psychological repair. The mental disturbances are so much so that people find it difficult to go to rest itself actually. You see, your agitations are, we have reduced ourselves to so low position where we can't even give that vehicle for servicing now. The service center will not even accept that vehicle now for servicing. He says, where is the car for servicing? There, sir. Everything that has 4 wheels cannot be treated as a car, you see. We have samples. We had a student here. He was driving a car. He was going and coming. Sweet fellow. One day, one beggar stopped him in the signal and told him, please change this car. It is from my childhood I've been seeing this car. Perhaps the first generation of Maruti 800 which came into Bangalore. That car. And this man came and said, sir, driver, beggar says the car's like that. I said, at least now you realize, I said. That means what? Such blindness. The beggar could see it. This fellow could see. And then he, bought a new car and told that beggar. The beggar says, now you give me money. Before that, even if he is giving you money, he would not take that beggar. He said, no, you keep it. Because you look so pathetic in this car. Our personality has gone so low today. Even if you take 2 pills, you are not able to get into sleep now. Because even to get into sleep, you need X amount of restfulness. You see, Even that is not possible today. So much of agitation is there in the world. And human, by design, is not necessary for him to get into the second phase of sleep itself. All that he requires is the first phase of sleep. That's it. He doesn't need the second phase. Human. But the problem is what, sir? You can be awake up to 1 o'clock. You see, even then the benevolence of nature is too good. You see, how ungrateful we are to nature. It is so good. Even then it is so benevolent. It says, it's okay, man. You get your body disturbed. Your body, even if your body is not repaired, it's okay. But allow me to repair your mind. Therefore, what happens? You can be awake up to 2 o'clock. After that, what happens? That's why you see, even Shivaratri night, after 2 o'clock only you get the best of programs. Up to 2 o'clock, it's all ordinary noise. I mean, best of program in the sense, more noise, more drums, more this, more that, all those things were coming. Why? Because nature says, give that, I push you into sleep now. I force you to go to sleep. So that some repair here and there, if I can do, I will do it. Thereby, you are ready for next day. Only to do what? Get more agitated. It says, I repair you to give you so that you drive safely. You take the car out and meet with accident. Again, go for body repair. Again, what happens? You bring the car out. If you keep doing it on a daily basis, what will happen? This exercise of introspection in the night allows you to slip into that sleep, gives you that relaxation. It's nothing to do with the exercise. It's to do with the power of awareness coupled with non-judgmental attitude. That's where the effort is. That's where there is an effort. You keep doing it over a period of time, you will be able to effortlessly be aware, also be non-judgmental. That is a time you get into meditation. You see, meditation is nothing but the same thing. It's just that intensity is the same. Meditation is what? You are conscious, but the action continues. That's meditation. You are aware and action is going on. That is meditation. The only action you will be doing there is chanting. So we say chant. That's about it. Your action is there. You are alert. You are alert throughout the day. That is why meditative state you have to reach first before you can get into the practice of meditation. If your mind is not in a meditative state, don't plunge into meditation. Now, you can't do meditation to make mind meditative. That is not possible. That's what the whole world is attempting. The whole world is attempting to do the other way. You are putting the cart before the horse. That's not possible. Meditative state you have to do. What is that meditative state, sir? Throughout the day, you keep going through your experiences with alertness, awareness, without being judgmental about it. Thereby, your actions becomes effortless. That's the proof of it. What is the proof that you are performing actions in this way? You're living your life with awareness coupled with non-judgmental attitude. Your actions will become effortless. Effortless action, as a result of which there is no mental agitations. Since there is not much repair to be done, you are alert when you wake up, refreshed when you wake up, and you will wake up naturally early morning. That is why whole nature wakes up early. You see, they say natural lifestyle is what? Sleep when the birds go to sleep, wake up when the birds wake up. What is that? Why? Because animals don't have that psychological agitations. They need only what? Physical repair. So they wake up. Our condition is what? We live life. Now, through this exercise of study and reflection, and this practice needs to be done. That's what he calls, as you know, like in tennis, they do this wall practice. First thing you do is wall practice in tennis. I thought tennis is a very easy game to play. Till I saw the court and I entered inside. Because my knowledge of tennis is only television tennis. And we see players of, all top-seeded players. When they play, it looks so easy, You just toss the ball up and hit. That's all you have to do. The ball goes the other side. Now here we hit. It goes everywhere except there. I say, return I will give. So he served the ball. I returned. It went to the neighbor's compound. Like baseball we play. Tennis, the practice you have to do, wall practice. And the wall practice is the most boring thing. You know that? In any form, practice is the most boring thing to be done. Why? Nobody around. You have to do it all by yourself. Performance, all of us are interested to do. Practice, people are not interested to do. It's so difficult to practice. Why? There is no result. There is no appreciation. Nobody is there around you. And the best of things comes out of you only when you are practicing action. That's what my father used to say about, there was a duo, musicians, Alathur brothers. You say, when these people go in the train from one, city to another city for concerts, in the train they will practice. They will not stop their practice. They wake up and start their practice. And they say the best comes out of them during that time. Not even in this one. The best of deliveries were bowled by the bowlers in the practice session. So many records were broken during practice session, but since it is practice, it is not accepted. It's not taken. Otherwise, it is. We are not interested in that practice. We all want to perform. The practice is introspection. Performance is meditation. But all of us are interested in the performance of it. Practice is not interested. That's why he says it's like a wall practice, man. First, you have to learn to put the ball across the net. That's it. Then comes so many techniques. Then comes all other aspects. Okay. But essentially, what are you supposed to do first? Is to put the ball across. Essentially, can you be conscious and alert for 5 minutes of your life without being judgmental? Try that, he says. Very powerful exercise. And introspection in the night, reflection in the morning. That's all practice is required. You don't need anything else. People keep asking us, sir, we are going to office. We don't have time to study like you. I have to study because I have nothing else to do. We are bored. Whole day, what else to do? I have a class. Now, whole day, what am I going to do? Because all Netflix all over. All that, series are all over now. Or they have to make new series only for me. How many Netflix series I can watch? Amazon Prime over, Netflix over, and then what else is there? This Disney over, Test match also over now. How much you can watch? You cannot do all that. You see, therefore we keep doing it. Otherwise, it's nothing to do with all this, please. Spiritual effort, right through your life, what you require is only these two things. Don't ever think that you have to do something else. And because you don't understand the complexities and the power of these two, we believe this is to be done more than that. No. 45 minutes of reflection in the morning and 5 minutes of introspection in the night, if you do, you will know how strainful it is. For all of us, the higher things are always easier. You see, higher things are easier for us. Subtler things are easier for us, we believe. That's why we think love is so easy. Love, no. Right? What love? All that you require is what? Surrender. That's it. Surrender to God. I'm struggling to do surrender to one fellow for the 1% to surrender. The last 25 years it is struggling. Not able to succeed. Most complicated thing, most courageous action for human is to surrender. And you say, all that you have to do is surrender to God. That's all it is. Simple. Is it so simple? It's so complex it is. So difficult it is. But we all want what? The subtlest thing easier. Now he says practical exercise. That's why he calls it as practical exercise. All that requires by you is to do these two things. And these two things are practical for everyone in the world. There's no necessity that you have to be belonging to this country or that country. Whether you are, male or female, literate or illiterate, you are middle class, upper class, lower class, whatever class, North Indian, South Indian, Indian, Asian, African, any creed, any community, anyone can do these two things. And doing these two things is enough into itself. It will spill over into your day's activities. You don't have to do anything else. Study, reflection in the morning, and introspection in the night will transform your day's experiences. That is spiritual evolution. That is growth. Don't do during daytime. During daytime, do whatever you want. We don't care. You do business, do business. You are a student, study. You are a professional, do your profession. If you are a carpenter, do carpentry. A plumber, do plumbing. Don't worry about what is to be done during daytime. Nothing to be done. All that you require is stick to these two exercises. Study in the morning, introspection in the night. Morning, 45 minutes to 1 hour maximum. Introspection, 5 to 6 minutes. You don't need anything else. Thank you.